All right, we're going to get this Anchor Bay School Board meeting to order. Is the microphone working? Where's my video guy? Supposedly I got a microphone. You hear it now? You gotta do the handheld. That's for the hands. Yes. Well-oiled machine. All right. At this point, I'd like to call up Cadet First Lieutenant Mayer to bring in the colors. And if everybody could rise, please.
Guard, halt. Left, face. Freeze and colors. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Carry, colors. Order, colors. Right, face. Guide out.
All right, be seated.
Angle it. Keep going, keep going.
All right, from the agenda, we're going to veer a little bit. We're going to start off with Principal Medley. I just want to say I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and it's a great way to start the meeting with some carolers and seeing the students, and we're going to continue that with the host school here at Great Oaks tonight. I'll call up Principal Medley.
Okay, welcome to Great Oaks. It's a pleasure having you here at the building, just to be able to showcase some of the great things we do. First of all, with the carolers, I wish I could say that they prepared especially for the school board, but to be totally honest, it's actually a presentation that they just gave a day or two ago for the village of East Harbors. They visit there twice a year, and just the way the relationships and, I saw everybody's faces in here, how happy everybody was at the school board, everybody's smiling, singing along. And with the village of East Harbors, with that community, the retirement community, and they're not able to get out and around, it just completely makes their day, and they absolutely love it. And it's actually the second time they did service at the community there at the village of East Harbors. They go there at Thanksgiving, since a lot of them miss out on being able to hand out candy to the trick-or-treaters. Our third graders go over there and they trick-or-treat, and they absolutely love it. And like I said, it's just a great way of bringing the community in there. And a couple of building updates here too. We just finished up our science club for the fall/winter session that ended yesterday. And I never thought I'd be that excited about lighting, but these LED lights they put in over the summer with the bond money, we don't have to wait 20 minutes for lights to warm up anymore. We can dim them, we can flip them on and off. And I'd ask you to go out and look tonight when we're done as far as the new playground. It's pretty cool out there, but it's absolutely freezing out there. So when you get a chance, take a look at it. And like I said, it's great use of the bond money at work. And our PTO, we have an absolutely amazing PTO. Our PTO, we just had Chris Cakes here on Saturday, throwing pancakes to the kids. They probably batted about as much as the Tigers do as far as their average, but they had a blast as far as with that. And I wanted to give the board a quick update too on Mystery Science. You guys approved that last year, and just kind of the common theme that we have, I'm trying to get into all the classrooms, being representative for administrators for the science committee. and just kind of check in, see how it's going, making sure teachers have what they need with it. But the kids absolutely love it. Common theme, whenever they hear, okay, kids, we're going to start on mystery science, you get lots of oohs and ahs, and when the mysteries are presented to them, you just see, it's pretty hard to engage kids nowadays with all the screens and everything that's in front of them, but you have the whole class engaged in what's going on, and just within the mystery, they're asking questions and creating other new mysteries and mini lessons, and it's a great program because they have, if students are absent, there's a parent link to be able to send the parents the mystery. It has the assessments, and they have mini mysteries. They have enrichment to go with it for the kids that want a little bit more out of it, and they have seasonal stuff that goes along with it too. And Mrs. Gilbert helped give me some quotes from the kids, and the common theme was how much fun it was. But I love this quote I'm going to share with you real quick about mystery science. Mystery science gets your brain pumping and you problem solve. So it teaches you to problem solve, because then you see what you learn to solve other problems instead of always asking somebody for answers. And that was from Addison in Mrs. Gilbert's class. So, like I said, it's just great to hear it from a kid's perspective. With that being said, I have a few other things to talk about, but I know you guys would rather hear the kids talk and present things. So we're going to have the green team and student council. I think student council is going to go first. So if you guys want to come on up. And Ms. Soroka, she leads our student council. She does absolutely amazing things with the kids. She's always given up her lunch time to be able to work with the kids, helping with school improvement. So here you go, Mrs. Soroka, and I'll get the presentation ready.
Okay, can we have the student council Anne? I am Ann Soroka, fourth grade teacher, and I am the student council rep. And this is Kelly Stratfine, who is the lead green team sponsor. And these are a few of our members, and they're going to speak to you today about student council and green team. And they will introduce you.
Saving energy in the school. Thank you.
Just came out just a minute ago. Oh, we might have to dim the lights a little.
Student Council and Green Team. We take pride in helping others within our school and community. We share wisdom and have fun. These groups consist of 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students. My name is Julia, and I wanted to be in Student Council so I can help the school and have a say in things.
My name is Marissa, and I wanted to be in Student Council because I like to help others and help the school.
My name is Nathan, and I am part of Great Oaks' Green Team. I wanted to be on Green Team to help our school's environment and help recycle.
My name is Caitlin, and I want to be part of Green Team to help other classes recycle and to help our environment.
In our Harvest Festival, we design, make, and then run our games at the Harvest Festival.
Helping others is what we do at Great Oaks Elementary. We do a Goodfellas Christmas drive for those who don't get a Christmas, and the Student Council also ran a sock drive for those who unfortunately walk around with no shoes or socks.
Bulletin boards are our specialty. We decorate bulletin boards for holidays, seasons, and other events.
As a member of Green Team at Great Oaks Elementary, we have been officially with the Michigan's Green School movement for over 10 years. Green Team will often do bulletin boards that teach others about our environment. This bulletin board was for Bat Conservation Week. That was in October.
Paper recycling. We are involved. This is the upper elementary and the lower elementary, and we are recycling paper from the paper recycling bins that we make. We try to teach others about being respectful to our planet and enjoy the great outdoors.
And our Green Team and Student Council, they are fantastic. If you guys get a chance before you go, just look at their specialty is bulletin boards. I don't know if they really enjoy doing it or they enjoy getting out of the cold weather when it's cold outside and they want to get inside. But they do a fantastic job. And even just the artwork around the school, like I said, if you get opportunity, just take a peek at it. And it's amazing what they do. At a lot of the board meetings, we hear a lot about the data, how great Anchor Bay is, and we do a lot with that data. And where does the scores come from? So the advantage of having it here at Great Oaks and some of the other elementaries, this is kind of the foundation where it all begins. And what I'm going to do really quickly, kind of go through each grade level and talk about how teachers differentiate, how they bring in cultural backgrounds, make connections to the kids, and just building relationships. Like what they do at the Village of East Harbors, that's something the kids are going to remember the rest of their lives. For example, even in kindergarten, they've had this tradition for a long time where they have the Thanksgiving feast, but they do tie that into the curriculum where they teach the kids about needs and wants. They get into the costumes. Parents, which are part of the community, they come in and help. It's an amazing event. And another thing that kindergartners started this year too is Literacy Lane. They've done that a couple of times. They actually borrowed the idea from Ashley Elementary, and it helps them to be able to differentiate. The different teachers are able to work with kids on different skills, such as rhyming, ones that are ready for sentences, words, and they make games out of it, whether they're putting shaving cream letters on the desk, which it's all very structured. It sounds really messy, but the kids loved it, what we've experimented around with it. They're learning, and they don't even know that they're learning. And they're not even aware how that they're even grouped. But that's just an example, like in kindergarten. First grade, they do some really cool things too. They're piloting in first grade and kindergarten, actually. They're piloting a new literacy program this year. And with that program, you hear kids talking about they're excited about phonics. Who hears the kids say that they're excited about phonics? So just hearing that kind of things, that how the teachers make it interesting for the kids in making those connections. And they do Grinchmas and tie-in service and growing your heart and community service type things like that too. And I have a couple of examples here in second grade. Second grade does some pretty cool things too. One of them they do actually with the gingerbread men. They start in kindergarten, but it gets spiraled back into the curriculum. The gingerbread men come back in third grade, and they did a geography project on it this year too, where the gingerbread man was the Lower Peninsula, and then they had the Upper Peninsula. And that's actually third grade on that one. I'm sorry. Second grade, one of the things they did was letter writing for the community. And I have a couple of samples of letters to Santa Claus. I thought it'd be really cool to read for the season. So we have Clea Bateman and Alexander Monday. They're going to share their stories with you real quick. First grade.
Dear Santa, Merry Christmas. How is Rudolph? Can you tell me if I'm on the naughty or nice list? Have you ate any cookies? Who is your favorite reindeer? My family is doing very well. I am turning 8 years old on Friday. A few weeks ago, we went to Traverse City. My grandma lives in Traverse City. For my birthday, we went to Great Wolf Lodge. It was so fun. My wish this year is for all the military people to be able to see their family, and for all the sick kids to feel better and see their family. For a Christmas gift, I am asking for some books, because I love to read to my mom and dad. I also want to spend time with my family. Thank you so much for reading my letter. I am going to leave you cookies, and for the reindeer, I am going to leave out carrots. Have a safe ride. You should take a break in January. Love, Kalia. Dear Santa, how have your reindeer been? How are you? Have your elves been good? Have your elves been reporting good news? Am I on the nice list? Is Rudolph's nose still red? My family is doing really good. We went to my dad's work party. It was a lot of fun. I played a lot of games. The good part is we went together as a family. I am so happy. My wish for this year is for the world. I wish the world will always be healthy, happy, have fun, and be safe from danger. I also wish for you to have a very good Christmas. This year, I would like a tablet. I would like a tablet so I can go on Razkits. I would like to go on Razkits to Norma. Thank you for reading my letter. I hope you have a safe trip. I will be leaving you and your reindeer cookies, carrots, and milk. Good luck with your trip. Merry Christmas. Love, Alexina.
And she talked about the tablet the first time, and everything was so generous and genuine in there that she pulled in the reading component, and it has to go back to that student engagement piece. And the Razkits is actually the program that's purchased by the district for the kids, and it does have that high level of engagement. And a couple other things in second grade, for some of the special times of the year, like Constitution Day, where some of the second graders work on making their own constitutions and making those real world connections to their lives, where they're going to be able to remember it. And then for September 11th, elementary version of that, where they actually focused on heroes and first responders, whether it's firefighters, nurses, doctors, military, and then they wrote letters to those people, and then they got to dress up as those first responders, which is really cool seeing that. And I already talked to you about third grade, about the gingerbread and the geography project, and I have student examples on that too. I'm not sure where my third graders went. Oh, you're right there. Okay. You get ready? Point, Elijah. Okay. Who wants to go? Okay. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Laura Pinato. I'm a third grade teacher at Great Oaks. In third grade, we focus mainly on Michigan studies for our social studies curriculum. The students, the main units are the geography of Michigan, the early history of Michigan, the growth and economy of Michigan, and Michigan government. Students typically love social studies in third grade because most of them, Michigan is their home state, and they're able to make connections to things that we talk about in class. I have two students here that would like to share some of the projects that they've done from some of our beginning of the year units.
Hello, my name is Elijah Van. In our Geography of Michigan unit, we learned about Michigan's important land and water features and how Michigan is part of the Midwest region. We recently did a Michigan gingerbread cooking project. We made Upper and Lower Peninsula cookies. We identified our Great Lakes some important cities, highways, and bridges. It was a fun way to show what we have learned about Michigan geography.
And this is this project.
that live throughout Michigan. We did a research project to find out about the daily lives of the early Michigan tribes and how they lived on the land. This is my poster board and model of the type of home my Native American tribe lived in. I really like doing this project because I learned a lot and it was fun.
Okay, they had a special assembly where actually a guest speaker came in and they focused all day long as far as talking about Native Americans and artifacts, and it was really engaging for the students, and they absolutely loved it. And some other students they worked on with the gingerbread too, kind of tying it back as far as doing a writing component on it, and I'll let Ms. Gilbert just say something real brief about that. Welcome.
Hi, in my class, I decided to tie it back in reading. We had some mentor text about Gingerbread Man. We read a couple of different ones to help teach students about the patterns in the books. And then when they did their Michigan gingerbread project, they also had a little tiny gingerbread. Their idea was that they needed to connect it to where they visited Michigan or where they live, so they were familiar with why the gingerbread man should run to their new hideout. So they did a persuasive opinion writing on why the gingerbread man should come there, and then they put the little gingerbread on their map. So this is Johnny Kaboriak and his writing.
Run, run, gingerbread man, run to Detroit. I think you should go there. This is why. My first reason is Detroit is really big. You can hide in one of the buildings. There are also many places to go, like Ford Field, Comerica Park, and Little Caesars Arena. Which one would you like to go to? Okay, Ford Field it is. You did say you wanted to go to Ford Field. Well, that's my second reason. You can disguise yourself as a football player. You can also play football. You will be able to help the Lions to win.
It's okay. They think it's good. They think it's good.
Okay. My third reason is after the game you can get pizza, go home, build a house, and live in Detroit and watch TV. Oh no. I hope you like my 3 reasons why you should go to Detroit. Before you go, Detroit is in the southeastern Michigan in the Lower Peninsula. Good luck. I hope you can get there.
Okay, great job, Johnny. And the Lions could definitely use the gingerbread men. They need a divine intervention this year anyways, so they started out so well. But anyways, just a couple other real quick examples to not leave out 4th and 5th grade. With 4th grade, they had DTE come in. They worked on like a grant with them and just hands-on experiments talking about safety, down lines, and then energy conservation. And one of the things, they kind of go through with them too, just things you might not even think of, like when you're brushing your teeth, make sure the water's shut off, just how it's all connected, because with the water, to clean and filter it, it does take electricity. So just to really get them thinking and taking it to the next level, they have them come in for that. And in 5th grade, just a real quick example too, I know in math, they actually on Friday they have game day. It's math games where they're able to review all the different concepts, and based on the data they're able to group the kids with the skills that they need remediation in or if they need enrichment. So it's a great way to get the kids excited about learning. And just the teachers across the district do a phenomenal job as far as just that student engagement piece, looking at the data, differentiating, and like I said, just to kind of bring it back to the beginning, it builds that foundation and just that quality teaching across the board through middle and high school and across all our elementary buildings, and having a supportive school board that supports programs like Mystery Science, Raz Kids, and other things that really benefit the kids. And same thing with our support over at Central with Mr. Wedge, Mr. Woodside, and all the admin support over there. So all that support's appreciated. It gets put to good use. And thanks again for having us tonight. And with that, that concludes our portion. And have a great evening. And thanks, parents, for bringing your kids in too.
All right. Thank you, Principal Medley, and all the teachers and students that presented tonight. That was great to see. Great to start off the meeting with that. Also want to thank Superintendent Woodside, Andy Case for moving Andy Case and probably crew moving all the stuff over to here to get the stuff at Great Oaks, and then Anita and Tim for all the sound equipment. So we're gonna, this little moving road show is quite the task to get ready, and they did a good job, so thanks. With that, we'll go into open forum.
Mr. Chairman, I have a point of order.
What's your point of order?
Point of order is my issue is regarding the change of the location of the regular school board meeting and its notification. I want to make it clear that I have no issue with rotating meetings. We've done it in the past. My point is that only the board can change the regular meeting and provide proper notice. How it was handled is a violation of the Open Meetings Act. The Open Meetings Act of 267 of 1976, Items 3 states if there's a change to the schedule of regular meetings of a public body, there should be posted 3 days after the meeting at which the change was made. There was no meeting where the meeting was changed, so there was not proper notification. Also, Policy 1002, meeting of the board. Regular meetings of the board will be held in accordance with the schedule established by the board. My point is, Mr. Chairman, that disregarding the law creates a liability of the district. Someone can potentially sue us for not properly following the law. Somebody could be showing up at Middle School North today wanting to address the board and finding out that we violated the law. I believe we had 2 other chances. We had 2 other meetings where you could have brought it forth to us, and I would insist that you bring a schedule to us so we can approve it and post it properly as per the law states. Thank you.
Your point of order is duly noted. We'll go to open forum. Sheila Hamby? Probably gonna.
Hanika.
Hanika?
Yes, there it is.
Sorry. It's my reading abilities. Right up here we have a microphone at the table.
Is it on? Hello? No?
It's on the bottom.
It's on the bottom. Okay. Good evening. My name is Sheila Hanika, and I'm here to support Colonel Carruthers. I'm sure all of you know what's going on with his position being let go as colonel in the junior ROTC program at Anchor Bay High School. First of all, I just want to remind all you people that 8th graders were allowed into the program way before Colonel ever began his leading of the program. So, bottom line, this is not a Colonel Carruthers problem. He didn't start this. This is an Anchor Bay High School issue and a superintendent issue. So I'm hoping that there's progress made vindicating Colonel Carruthers. My son, by the way, I have been in the program. My son graduated from Anchor Bay High School in 2015, and he was in the program since 8th grade. I, too, received that letter from the superintendent saying that our children will be bused. And my kid took advantage of being bused from the middle school to the high school. So you're pointing the finger at the wrong person. It's not Colonel Carruthers' problem. It's not his fault. It's an Anchor Bay High School problem. Thank you.
Samantha Johnson?
Hello, my name is Samantha Johnson. You might have not known, but I was actually in the ROTC program about 3 years. I started into the program my 8th grade year, second half of my 8th grade. And I want to let you all know that Colonel is not to blame. Like Ms. Sheila said, it started way before him. I definitely think the process that it went through was not good. Personally, I think it could have been handled, the situation could have been handled better. And I wanted to let you know that right now I would not be standing here, I would not have the ability to stand up here because I am absolutely terrible in front of crowds. I want you to know you are affecting the students right now. Personally, Colonel was like a second father to me and everything, and I would really want you guys to do a proper investigation, really think, is this the proper way to do it? Take Colonel out of this position and see, you know what, without Colonel, honestly, the ROTC program is not the same way. It's not going to be run the same way. These students are not going to be, in a sense, raised the same way. And my morals and my values are based off of what I went through in high school and how my moral and my character have defined myself. So I really want you guys to know this is affecting everybody. Right now, I'm on Christmas break from university. I could be at home sitting doing whatever, but I'm doing here trying to support what was a big and major part of my life. Thank you.
Thank you. Corey Broussard.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for allowing this time to speak. I'm a 2009 graduate of the Anchor Bay ROTC program. I started 8th grade under the leadership of Captain Warder. Through that 8th grade program, I got to learn a lot of phenomenal unlocking my potential moments. We had a whole leadership program. Progressing through, Colonel's with me for my last 2 years of high school. I'd say probably my most formative years of high school. I was at a point in my life where I was a rebel. And Colonel saw that, but he also saw the direction and the guidance that I wanted to go in. And through that, he was able to push me or guide me into the direction that I needed to be in. Because of that, I've now been able to graduate a fire academy, paramedic program, police academy, and I run my own successful company. Without Colonel Carruthers, it would have taken a little bit longer to get there. Any cadet in this program who's been through knows the three words I'm about to say. Integrity first, service before self, excellence in all we do. Integrity first is very important. This is not a Colonel Carruthers problem. Captain Warder, Arthur Ratchford, the administration, they made this program. They had the 8th and Colonel Carruthers came in. I just want everyone to do the right thing to make sure the Colonel stays.
Jacob Sullivan. For future reference, I mean, I know you've come every meeting, and we've allowed it, but that's technically, we're not supposed to. I'll allow it just tonight. I know I'll get another point of order, but. What's that? I know you got two, and we'll do it tonight, but let's just know in the future, that's actually against the rules. We're not supposed to do that. But go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, Anchor Bay School Board, and thank you for this opportunity to speak tonight. As we move towards the Christmas break, there is at least one key difference between Colonel Carruthers and most people in this room. While he submitted his decertification appeal to the Air Force on December 6th, he has yet to hear his resolution. By Christmas, which also happens to be his birthday, he will likely lose his job. You all, by most accounts, will not. I feel it is critical to underline what has brought us to this point. Nothing was ever shared with Colonel about having 8th graders in your program prior to the start of the 2007 school year. At that time, he was hired under knowingly false pretenses. He had been pursuing a number of different Air Force Junior ROTC programs at the time, so he could have easily moved from Utah to somewhere else had the district been honest with him. The district invited him here with a 12-month contract. He was the one who recommended he be paid the minimum allowable instructor pay, as the contract was for 12 months, false promises, as he would not get another suitable contract his entire tenure here. After the first year contract expired, the district continually whittled away at the agreed to compensation. The Colonel didn't demand more compensation, only what was originally agreed to in 2007. Since what we believe to be was about 1995, the district knowingly continued to have its Air Force Junior ROTC instructors teach 8th graders illegally, in direct violation of every memorandum agreement that the district ever signed with the Air Force. This, despite the advice and numerous attempts to have it stopped, the Colonel, many district personnel from board members to superintendents, to directors of secondary education, to student services, to high school principals, with the exception of the current high school principal, knew that 8th grade students were in the program and that their inclusion was illegal. The district was well aware that the illegal 8th graders were being included in the required 100 cadet minimum in reports to the Air Force. Specifically, the superintendent frequently asked the program's numbers and whether these numbers included 8th graders. He made it clear that the 100 cadets was the magic number, including 8th graders. So as long as the program had over 100 cadets, the program, and therefore the instructors' jobs, were safe. The Director of Student Services was told the 8th grade student issues many times, including in writing in September of 2016. The district was equally well aware that the 8th graders were being entered into the Air Force accounting system. There's no other way for these illegal students to participate in the program. Participate in fitness activities, participate in extracurricular activities, go on trips, and be issued a uniform. Again, the Director of Student Services was made aware of these facts early as September 2016. The superintendent failed to inform the Air Force when the aerospace science instructor worked full-time as a counselor in the high school for a full semester, in direct violation of the Memorandum of Agreement. This fraud added illegal funds to the district's financial account. The Colonel did what his superiors wanted him to do, the superintendent to the Director of Student Services. However, his actions violated no laws, no contracts, nor did his action cause anyone else to lose their livelihood. I reprimand all, from prior board members, to business managers, to directors of secondary education, to Director of Student Services, to all prior high school principals. All of them willingly played a role in fraudulent activities. This is no way to bind the district to a legal contract. This is no way to treat a veteran. How did you typically address the Colonel? You probably addressed him as a Colonel. He earned that title for over 21 years of outstanding military service, and you hired a Colonel. So there remain a number of unanswered questions. What will be the result of his decertification appeal? And if approved, will he be restored to his rightful position of employment? When will this ongoing independent investigation finally be complete? And what will it show? Will the board take the correct actions? Why did no one from the district come to assist? Why did no one from the district come to his assistance when it became obvious that their choices placed one of their own valued employees, a veteran, and basically hung him out to dry? Why does the district consider it acceptable for the original aerospace science instructor to be welcomed back with open arms to substitute teach in the very program which he welcomed the 8th graders originally? Why does the current aerospace science instructor remain as an instructor despite being in the program for over 2 years with 8th graders? Perhaps the independent investigation will shed some light on that area. Why are so many senior positions in the district allowed, in fact, enabled in many cases to act inappropriately? When will this end? The Colonel will leave with hundreds and hundreds of memories of helping students reach their dreams, the full realization of their potential, taking them to places they will likely never travel to again, and always being available for them, always. You, on the other hand, have created memories of a shattered program, students' dashed hopes and dreams, and the mistreatment of a decorated veteran. This is a true trail of tears. Board members and members of the audience, I wish you a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Stephanie Richards.
Hello. Hi, my name is Stephanie Richards of 9980 Arnold Road. I am here again in regards to the injustice this district has brought upon Colonel. Last time I spoke, and again tonight, I get the sense that the board president and others are sick and tired of hearing from me and other Colonel supporters on this issue. But to be honest, I don't blame you. But I don't plan to stop until we get answers and action. In my previous statements, I have stood here highlighting many of the positive things Colonel offers our students, district, and community. That doesn't mean I believe he is all perfect. None of us are. He stood himself here in front of you, admitting his part of the wrongdoing in all of this. He followed orders and did not report properly to the Air Force that we were including 8th graders. That is why he continues to get my support. He took ownership of his part in this mistake, and he continues to set a fabulous example to our students of sound morals, good ethics, strong, confident leadership, and honesty. We all need to be setting those examples for our students. It is time to act. Stop the censorship and allow the staff who wants to stand up and fight for what is right and support Colonel in his appeal. There is still time as the appeal is still pending. 2, publicly report to us the findings and decisions made based upon those findings of the outside internal or investigation that you guys ordered a few months ago. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you next month.
Thank you. That's the last ROTC, and then we're going to get other ones. I just want to say one, I'll listen to anybody. I set this night aside. I'm in for long meetings. I chair union meetings. We got long meetings, so talk as much as you want. I just want to be clear to the parents and everybody here that the board nor the district have any say in the Colonel's job. That is done by, he's decertified through the Air Force. I know he's on appeal. We have that independent investigation going. There's still a few more people she needs to talk to. I'm hoping to have that wrapped up in January to where we can report to you the findings and whatever comes out of it. But make no mistake, we will sit here and listen to anybody that wants to come talk to us. We just want to do it by the rules, and that's it. So,
Mr. President, could you add on November 6th, the board voted that I cannot speak about it.
Well,
and neither can the board.
and I know,
so people understand why I'm just not going to speak about it. I
correct.
can't.
I wanted it because you said something about censorship. The motion made by Mr. Green was to direct me to hire an independent investigator to do this investigation, but also directed Superintendent Woodside to not talk about this at all, and to order or to tell all of his subordinates, anybody that works for him, which is everybody, to not talk about it as well. So I did call the Colonel tonight, and Superintendent Woodside, called me this week. I messed up at the last 2 meetings because the Colonel come up here and talked, and the superintendent's not allowed, per that motion, to talk about anything, to rebut anything, or to give his side of whatever is being said about him. And as far as all the other people in the district, for them to be able to come up and whatever you had said, the censorship, that was the motion of the board, which was passed. And once this investigation is complete, that will be opened up and we can have some more meetings like this. So, but at the end of the day, I just want you to know there's no magic wand that this board, we can't even take a vote and say we want to rehire them. That is strictly per the military. And all I'll say is no matter what someone may or may not have told him to do, that's the military. That's separate from us. That's on their decision. So, but that's why we're doing ours on our side to find out exactly what happened on our side. And if we need to do something, we'll make that choice amongst the 7 people on this board. So, is that good?
Yeah, I just want to add, again, the November 6th motion by Mr. Green is that I could not speak,
correct,
and neither could any of my employees.
That's what I said.
Now, you meant all employees.
That was the directive, yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So, that was my fault for not catching it the last 2 meetings.
Well, all the board members are aware of it, so it's not just yours.
I'm good with taking. All right, Mary DeLore. Let's talk about some good stuff. Sweet dreams. All right.
Good evening. I would just like to share with you an invitation that came to the Transportation Department in November from the Chesterfield Township Public Safety. They were invited to participate in the evening at Royal Oak Beaumont Hospital, Moon Dreams for Sweet Dreams. For those of you that aren't aware what this is, this runs the entire month of December from the 1st to the 25th. Different companies, school districts, some of the school districts to the south of us have been part of this for the last couple of years. This is our first year we were asked. They go to the hospital, they go to the pediatric unit outside, they bring the children to the windows with their parents, unfortunately, that are in the hospital, and the children shine their flashlights out, and we all shine them back. We show the support. Anyone that's ever been in a hospital, either with a student or a family member, it's a long day. And we were excited to be a part of this. I talked to Mr. Woodside about it. He shared the same excitement. I brought it back to the drivers, and I want to say they donated their time tomorrow. So we have, at this time, almost 300 people who are Anchor Bay staff members, parents, students of the district who will be boarding our buses at 6:30 tomorrow night to go down there. The entire event lasts 15 minutes, but we are very excited. And thank you for letting us be a part of that. And then as a follow-up note, I just wanted to say the Transportation Department dug into their own pockets and came up with $400 to purchase toys for Henry Ford Hospital on 19 Miles Pediatric to show our support for our local area. And children that will be going into the hospital up on the pediatric floor will get a toy for while their stay is there, compliments of Anchor Bay. Good job, guys. So, I extend the invitation to any of you that would like to come. The buses are departing the bus yard tomorrow at 6:30. We ride down to Royal Oak Beaumont Hospital. The event lasts 15 minutes, and then we come back. So you're more than welcome to join us. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you very much. And thanks to the whole bus garage. Thank you. I had inadvertently missed one of the ROTC. Is Haley here still here? Or did she leave? Tell her I didn't forget about her. I just misplaced it. Dang. Greg Wheeler.
Good evening, Board. My name is Greg Wheeler, 51921 Huntley Avenue, and I'm a 17-year employee of the district and president of our AFSCME local support staff, which comprises of, as Mary just said, transportation, food service, mechanics, multi-trades, and custodial. So the reason I'm here is obviously our contract's up for renewal tonight, and I just wanted to point a few things out to the newer board members, if you weren't aware. I've been here since 2003. Since that time, we have lost 37 employees in 2 of our departments. Now, I've crunched the numbers on that, and what I'm putting forward here is a contribution that we've made and sacrifices. With the savings, base wages off 2003 wage scale through the custodial maintenance in that 11-year time period, we have saved $4 million for the district. Being one of the lowest funded districts, we've just adopted the mentality of doing more with less. And through that, everybody here has pride, work ethic. Even though we've been operating shorthanded, everybody's pulled through, team together. Not to mention, as far as what Mary was saying, as far as community, in 10 years, we have also last 10 years, we have given out scholarships to Anchor Bay students. $70,000 worth to be exact, and not one of them was under $1,000. So I just wanted to bring that to some of the newer board members who may not have been aware of those facts. And with that, I would just like to say a special thank you to Mr. Middlestat, Mr. Woodside, all of our administrators for their continued and unwavering support. And through all the negotiations, I would like to thank Mr. Woodside. Through these negotiations, there's never been one group pitted against another. Everybody's been treated fairly, and I've been in negotiations for 15 of the 17 years. So those are my observations, and hope you take our contract into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris Cabanilla. How'd I do? All right.
Chris Cabanella, 36343 Adam Court. Thought I'd bring a good story to the board here tonight with everything else that's been happening. So I'm here for my son Logan Cabanella at the same address. He cannot be here himself and asked me to present a letter for him. He is a 2019 graduate of Anchor Bay who graduated in the top 25 of his class. He is now a freshman at Florida State University. His AP test scores allowed him to bypass 2 of the chemistry classes at Florida State. Unfortunately, he struggled. I will now read you his letter. To whom it may concern on the Anchor Bay School Board. This semester I had a chemistry lab class that was very difficult. The vast majority of the students who took the class struggled mightily. The odds were stacked against the students. The lecture teachers were sometimes an entire class behind the lab, so we didn't know the material we were being tested on. The TAs were slow to respond to emails for help, and the professor didn't respond ever. After trying 2 tutors and having them both stumped, I was desperate. I would like to recognize Anchor Bay school teacher, Mr. Bradley Porter. In a last-ditch effort, I emailed Mr. Porter to see if he could help. Mr. Porter sacrificed his family and personal time on several occasions to help me understand the material and provide me with more information than what my instructors were, to be able to understand the material and get through my assignments. His dedication to his work and passion for spreading knowledge in his field is truly unrivaled. Mr. Porter helped me fill in the gaps in learning that were left by the FSU professors and was definitely noticeable and appreciated. I received a 35% on my first lab quiz and a 55% on the second. After finally getting help from Mr. Porter, my scores went up to the 75 to 90% range. I wish I would have reached out earlier, but wanted to express my appreciation for his sacrifice of time and, of course, his willingness to help me out. This is a testament to his ability as an educator and his character. I want to thank you, Anchor Bay, for finding such a great educator in Mr. Porter. Sincerely, Logan Cabanella, class of 2019. Personally, for me, paying out-of-state tuition, I'm glad he passed the class, so he doesn't have to take it again. Thank you, and have a great holiday season.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it. I want to thank everybody for coming up. That was great. great to hear from the parents, great to hear from everybody, and I just want to reiterate that again. Is a lot of what I'm doing, and obviously I'll get with Mr. Middlestad after the meeting, see how many laws I broke, and I'll try to fix that. But the whole goal is to try to get more people involved, try to get more parents here, to hear from the public, to hear from the parents, the teachers. I mean, that's why we do this. That's why we're here. We want to hear how we're doing, what we can do, how we can make things better. If you guys have any ideas to get more people in these seats, let us know. And like I said, Mr. Middlestad, work with me. I'll get better, I promise. But it's just all in trying to get people here. So with that, we'll go to Riley Arnold for the student representative update.
Need the microphone or not?
Here you go.
Hi, I am a senior at the high school and the Student Congress representative. I just wanted to talk about Student Congress real quick and say that we meet once a month, and it's comprised of one fifth grade representative from each elementary school and one representative per grade level from the 3 secondary schools, so middle school, north, south, and the high school. Our first meeting in October, we did an icebreaker activity, discussed our t-shirt design, and brainstormed topics for the year. In November, we packed cookies for Marine troops who were serving away from home, and we even received 2 thank you letters from them. And then today we met, and the superintendent joined us for a discussion on what we see as students in the schools. We discussed problems, ideas for improvement, and activities we would like to see explored. We are excited to hear back from him on the items we shared, and he plans to come back at one of our next meetings. So here are some of the activities that have happened since my last report. The schools that are having a holiday spirit week this week are McConn's, Great Oaks, Lighthouse, Middle School South, Middle School North, and the high school. Some of the themes, I can see some of them back on the board, are Comfy Cozy Day, Ugly Sweater Day, Christmas Sock Day, and Santa Hat Day. Those are some popular ones. And then the schools who had canned food drives are Great Oaks, Lighthouse, Nuldrich, Sugar Bush, and the high school. And then also 5th grade bands from McConn's, Lighthouse, and Great Oaks went to the middle school to play with their bands. Then for Nuldrich Elementary, they had Cookies with Santa, where over 100 people attended. McConn's had a clothing drive during conferences. The staff donated 2 jeans for veterans. 5th grade had a concert with Woods Church, where over 350 people came. The staff donated for local families in need, and the November facial hair competition concluded, and the principal won. For Ashley, 5th grade had a Christmas play, and the band played some songs. Student council sold candy canes for an organization called Socks, Tees, and Undies, Please. And then they sold Christmas necklaces. The 5th grade had Protecting You, Protecting Me, which teaches how to protect your brain from substances and alcohol. They had the Quiz Bowl tryouts today, and that's where you participate. You receive study packets every week, and then you compete in May, and Ashley took first place last year. They also started an after-school STEM program. And then for Great Oaks, they had candy canes for a cause to donate to those less fortunate, and had the Christmas breakfast with Santa with the pancakes, as said before. For Lighthouse, they had a hat and mitten drive, and 1st grade had a concert. They also had Santa Shop December 12th and 13th, and a homework club for 4th and 5th grade. Sugar Bush had a Santa shop as well. They had Milk and Cookies with Santa, which included a bike giveaway, and they had a hat day for Goodfellows, and student council provided hot chocolate to the staff. For Middle School South, they had a penny drive, and the 8th grade won a hot chocolate party. They sold candy cane grams. They put up hall decorations, and they're having a door decorating contest. For Middle School North, NJHS visited MSU and U of M. NJHS did a giving tree also. Students volunteered for Christmas activities at various elementary schools in the district. December 16th through 36th, fleece blankets are being made for infants in the hospital, and student council made hot chocolate for teachers, and also they had a field trip to Energy and Environment at Macomb Community College. Then for the high school, we just had our craft show. We did the giving tree and a blood drive, and then we're also doing a coin stall for books at McConn's. And then we just had Tar Tuesday, which was called Swinter. It was summer clothes in winter. That was fun. Then we had, I just want to talk a little bit about the Chinese foreign exchange student program, just from a student perspective, and say that it's going really well and that a lot of students really like it. A lot of people were worried about the adjustment, not only for them, but for us. It's hard enough for new kids to come into a school, but when you also have a language barrier, it's extra difficult. But we had a mentor program to help people make friends with them. We've done pumpkin carving for Thanksgiving. We had lots of kids, staff, and teachers host Thanksgiving with them so they can actually take them over break and have dinner with them and all that. And then I also wanted to pass around to the board. This is a thank you card from one of these students. She's actually the president of their student council. Her name is Athena, and I just thought it was a really nice thank you note that she wrote to me, and I just wanted to show everyone, just to show not only how they're impacting our lives, but how we're impacting theirs too. And then, as I said about student council, we've met with them several times. They come to all of our meetings, and they're trying to get us to participate with them more. So we're organizing basketball right now. They want to play basketball with our boys too from the school. And that's all.
You can leave it on. All right, thank you. We'll go to the JROTC update. Who's giving it? Both of you?
Yes, sir.
Second microphone. I just stand over here. Yes.
All right, good evening, board. As you've seen me before, I'm Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jacob Calebs, the current Corps Commander and Kitty Hawk Commander for Unit MI-931. And this year we have Cadet First Lieutenant Joshua Mayer, who's our current Support Squadron Commander, and we'll be providing you with our latest update. Since it's been a few months, we'll be providing an update from November. We had our 11th annual drill meet, which was a total resounding success. We had 6 schools in attendance, including ours. Those schools came from Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, and of course, Michigan. I'm super excited to say that the Advanced Color Guard took a first place trophy, which was commanded by none other than myself. So, for you guys to take a quick look at. I would like to say that Sam Johnson, who was the one that talked earlier, she's one of the ones that taught me everything that I know with Color Guard. So I sincerely thank her. Cadet Mayer, do we have anything else to say about the drill meet?
Yes, sir, actually we do. And I think, first of all, we should thank all the parents, adults, staff members who came out, helped us make it a smooth one. This was one of our best drill meets by far, I want to say. And actually, sir, also, we had an all-female first-year color guard team that placed second in their event, and we actually have their commander with us now, Cadet Corbin.
Hi, I'm Cadet Staff Sergeant Olivia Organ. I was the commander of the first year color guard team. This is my other flag. This is Cadet Senior Airman Emma Solinsky. We also had our rifles as Jonathan Faust and Haley Hollers, but they are not here. The Cadet Calebs taught me everything that I knew, as well as the rest of my team knew, about how to work in a color guard. And it was a really great experience for all of us to work together and grow as a team. The drill meet itself was very nerve-wracking for all of us. We all were very nervous, but we all really believed in each other, and I think overall it was a great success.
Thank you. Thank you guys very much. And it honestly was a great experience to be able to teach them everything that I've been taught in the color guard, and I'm very proud that they were able to place second, and I know that they'll be placing first at Howell on February 1st. Now, Cadet Mayer, do we have anything else to report about the drill meet?
Yes, sir, actually we do. During our knockout event, Cadet Master Sergeant Cooley placed in 10th.
Knockout?
Yes, sir.
What's knockout? Is that like a boxing competition?
Actually, sir, quite the contrary. Basically what we do is we form up in formation, get all spaced out perfectly, and then judges from the other events will test us to see how well we can do commands, and cadets are knocked out based on how well we do.
That sounds pretty intense.
Yes, sir, they take a lot of pride in it. They like showing off what they know.
Well, I think that's pretty awesome, and thank you for that explanation of what a knockout is. Mondays. As you can tell, we had an amazing time, and the schools were very impressed with how well run our event was. All the parents and instructors gave great reviews of our facilities, the parental and guardian support, as well as how well-mannered and courteous our cadets were. What a great thing after such an intense and busy event. The entire month of November, we were extremely busy with color guards, as well as the local and Richmond VFWs. We helped them with their breakfast and Friday night chicken dinner, as well as a fish fry over at Richmond. It was an amazing time, and they treated us very well.
Yes, sir. What else do we have?
Well, let me tell you. December is one of our busiest times as we helped with the Goodfellows organization, their annual newspaper sales. We helped cover the greater New Baltimore area as well as some of the Chesterfield area. And our cadets alone could have collected over $1,000 in donations, which I think is pretty amazing. Additionally, we hosted the Armed Services Vocational Absolute Battery Test, also known as the ASVAB. We had an impressive 19 students sign up and take the test. We also hosted our winter blood drive on December 12th, where we had 28 donors, 23 of whom were eligible, so we got 23 pints of blood. This was extremely important due to the current blood shortage that the Red Cross is experiencing. On Friday, December 13th, we hosted a staff appreciation luncheon for our high school staff, which I think was a great success. All the staff absolutely loved it. Furthermore, we participated with the nationwide event Wreaths Across America on Saturday, December 14th. We laid about 808 wreaths on the St. Mary and Oakwood cemeteries on veterans' graves. We managed to do all these events in addition to our regular commitments, such as Chesterfield Township Board meetings, where we post the colors and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, just like you saw here. Since basketball season started up, we started posting the colors for both the boys and girls varsity teams. On Friday, December 20th, we're having our annual Cadet Christmas party hosted by our very own Kitty Hawk Air Society. This is where we can relax and enjoy ourselves with our fellow cadets that we don't normally get the time to do. Bless you. With all of that going on, we are surely looking forward to a Christmas break, which really is well-deserved at this point. Because ahead of time, we have January planned out, such as our annual polar bear plunge. I certainly think our cadets are doing incredible with everything that they're doing.
Yes, sir, most definitely. And it's because of all these things, their actions, their trials, everything they go through, that we continue to recognize them. We give them awards and promotions on Wednesdays during our class, and that's a good motivator for them to continue what they're doing. But we, again, want to thank all of our cadets for their work ethic, all that they've been doing, as well as our instructors. They've held up very well. It's a big workload, especially with some of the shakeups, and we've handled it pretty well, I think. And that is also why we can continue to offer to the public, everyone here, to the school board, if there's ever anything you need, color guards, sandbagging, any type of community service, anything we can do for your fundraising, please let us know. We'll be happy to help. It helps us.
Well, Cadet Mayor, do you have any other parting words of wisdom?
Actually, sir, I do. We're holding a bowling fundraiser on Sunday, the 19th of January at Premier Lanes. We're hoping to raise funds for the morale-building activities that we do, such as laser tag, ice skating. We go to a ropes course event at the beginning of every year, and that helps our cadets bond a lot more than they normally would be able to. For $20 if you come out, you get shoe rental, 3 games of bowling, pizza, and pop. But we'll also have a 50-50 raffle, a bake sale, and other fun things to pass the time. Please save the date and come out, bring the public, bring the family. We'd like to have everybody get to know some folks.
I know it'll be a pretty fun time over at Premier Lanes. I know I go over there every week. That concludes our presentation. Do we have any questions from the board?
Any questions up here? No, I do have a comment, though. I did have the luxury of spending some time with you guys over at the Wreaths Across America as well as the Goodfellows. Thank you. You guys did an outstanding job in those 2 projects that I personally witnessed, so thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much for your time.
Do you have something to say, Steve?
Yeah, I'd also like to thank Sergeant Quintile for your support in all these activities, because we need someone out there to help lead our ROTC cadets, and I know the event at the high school is an enormous undertaking, and I'm sure all your boosters and everybody else help support you, so thank you also.
All right, thank you. Let's, you gotta go. All right, our student Congress representative is gonna, you got the card back? She's got some homework to do. I'd have stayed here all night. All right, we'll move on to the international program contract. At the last meeting, superintendent gave a presentation on it. Tonight, we need to vote on whether or not we're going to keep the program for the following year. We're supposed to vote on it by December 31st, so I'll open it up to the board for a motion to approve or disapprove for the next school year.
I'd like to make the motion to approve the international program for the 2021 school year as presented, all the data that was presented at the last board meeting.
Is there support?
A second.
All right, motion been made and seconded to approve the international program for the 2020-2021 school year. Is there any discussion?
I think we should have a little bit of open discussion and talk about the finances of it.
That's where we're at.
You know, this year, my understanding is that we did receive the foundation allowance for... Yeah, sure. I usually can yell, but I got a little sinus infection today, so I'll apologize. Sure. What I was saying is, I want to make sure I understand the finances of this from Mr. Woodside and Mr. Rathbun. This year, the current school year we're in, we received the foundation allowance from the state of Michigan for these students, correct?
Correct.
Do we have that commitment for next year?
Yes.
If we continue this program?
Yeah, you never know what the state will do, but, you know, last year, they put in the School Aid Act that we could not receive the funding. Then later that year, the governor allowed the funding. That was last school year. So then this, when they did the School Aid Act, this year, the language is not in there at all. So they would have to bring up another bill amendment to even bring it back. So I can't say 100% that they wouldn't, but we've received the funding, the foundation allowance, ever since the program started.
So they would have to actively remove the foundation allowance. It's as we're last year. They actively had to put it back in this year. It's in for now. We believe we're going to get it. There would have to be an act by our legislature to remove it. That's my understanding?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
That's my understanding also. And you do, you know, just to add, you do receive funding from the students themselves to be
We get tuition payments as well. My understanding from the state reps and senators I talked to was they realized when they took it out for that minute how many districts it affected and what it was doing to their funding and to what they had to budget for the next year. That's why it came back, and yeah, that wasn't one that they were willing to give up.
So the only other piece I want to throw in for the audience is, in case you missed a meeting or two, I think it was back March, I don't know, April, we transferred, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, about $500,000 out of this account into our general fund and purchased books that we were sorely lacking. So there is some value to having the program aside from what Riley mentioned with the relationships that are being forged and what our students are learning and what they're learning from us. We certainly, as a district that is watching our finances, we took $500,000 and bought books for all of our students. So not that it's purely a money thing for me, because it's not, but that's why I'll probably be supporting that tonight.
Is there any other discussion? All right, we'll vote by roll.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mrs. DeWitt?
Yes.
Mr. Middlestat?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Yes.
Burkmeyer, no. Activetti Hendershot?
Yes.
Mr. Drew?
Yes.
Pass.
Motion passes. All right. Bills payable. It's Robin Randazzo.
Good evening. The board has been presented with the bills payable summary for the month of November. The bills payable report includes both a summary and a detailed check register for the month. Does the board have any questions at this time?
Is there any questions from the board? Is there a motion to accept the bills payable for November 2019? Second?
I'll support.
Vote by roll.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mrs. DeWitt?
Yes.
Mr. Middlestat?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Yes.
Burkmeyer, yes. Ms. Akavetti Hendershot?
Yes.
And Mr. Drew?
Yes. Move on to field trips. Ms. Kenward and Mr. McDonald.
We are requesting the board to approve the Anchor Bay JROTC field trip to Boston, March 13th through the 17th. There are 44 cadets and 13 chaperones attending, including Sergeant Quintano. JROTC will be staying at Hanscott Air Force Base and participating in a drill meet at Lowell High School on March 14th.
I move to approve the motion.
Is there a second?
I support.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Next one.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Drew. I'm here on behalf of our Spanish department at the high school. Mrs. Malouf is here, and just wanted to ask the board for permission for the Spanish department to begin planning for a trip to Spain and Portugal for the summer, so it'd be after the school year of 2021. So this is actually a year out. They want to begin planning. This would be the second time that they've taken a trip, and they would follow the same type of itinerary and use the same travel company as they had in the past. So again, the trip is actually for the summer of 2021. So they wanted permission to begin the planning.
Is there a motion from the board? Is there a second?
A second.
The motion's to support it, right? Okay. Any discussion?
Yes. I thought in the past, this isn't directly, sorry.
That's right.
This isn't directly a school trip, right? Have we approved, I thought in the past we haven't approved such trips since we have it's...
Right, and it would be the same as we approved before, where the trip would be planned outside the school year. Staff would support it. All liability would be between the parents and the travel company, but the staff like to begin to plan a trip in that same manner.
I guess history, I thought at the time the trip was allowed, but the board never voted to approve. Is that true? Or I can't remember. I thought in the past, because it's outside the school district, why are we involved in approving such a trip? It's outside people, it's outside...
I know a few years ago they did take a trip. It wasn't sponsored by the school. And I got to apologize, I don't recall.
It was spoken as such as a trip that was with staff and students, and we just wanted, but outside of the, it's not officially a school-sponsored trip, but...
I have a problem if I'm approving something that's technically not a school trip, so why would I do that? Why would I take that?
I think last time it was just informing the board.
That's my concern.
Good concern.
Yeah.
When we did it a couple of years ago, did we have it approved then? They went to France.
All right, if this is for summer of 2021, we got some time to table this, and we'll look into it and take it up in January.
It was, as Mr. Middlestat suggested, but it was, again, a situation where I didn't want our students and staff to be talking about this without the board's knowledge.
Well, can we just give them permission to look into it? I mean, can we deny it later if something comes up?
I would imagine the action by the board that Mr. Middlestat's worried about is the liability of us taking a vote on something that we have nothing to do with. So I think the best, is there a motion to postpone this?
Well, you'd have to reverse their motion.
Yeah.
Second, so.
Yeah, I'll rescind my motion.
Okay.
Make a motion to table the issue for further discussion.
We can lay it on the table until the next meeting. So just motion to lay it on the table.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, thank you.
Can I just say something really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, well, since I have the microphone, I just wanted to thank the board and Mr. Woodside in the past for allowing us to take that trip to Spain and France. It was very successful, and just for for the support in general for the foreign language program and for our students. In fact, Riley was a 4-year Spanish student, so we really appreciate that. I did graduate from Wayne State and I got hired by Anchor Bay. It's been here for 16 years, so I really do appreciate all the support for the foreign language program. In the past, I think it was just that I don't think there was a vote on it. I think it was just informing the board because they are our students, but it is during the summer and it is through the travel company. So we'll just wait on your go-ahead, I guess, and then we'll create a parent meeting. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is the emergency operating plan resolution. I'll just read what I have here. The board will be asked to authorize the update of emergency operations plan. Our district safety liaison, Dave Bosco, who's right here, has attended all Macomb County school safety meetings, and the recommended updates were created in partnership with the Macomb ISD, Macomb County Emergency Manager, and law enforcement. Updating the district's EOP will ensure alignment with the Macomb County template and compliance with the changes in MCL 380-1308B. By law, all school districts must have approved updated EOP for each school building in accordance with the new safety and security initiatives by December 31st, 2019. So, now, did I take everything you wanted to say?
Yeah, pretty much. But we'd be happy to entertain any questions, but yeah, that is the motion before you. As you said, Mr. Bosco has been at all the county meetings. This has been a joint effort in the template. It includes all Macomb County schools, all the law enforcement,
The Baltimore Chesterfield.
including the Baltimore and Chesterfield, but the Warren Police, Shelby Township Police. It is all encompassing, including our emergency manager. So each school board is looking at the same template in the county.
Is there a motion from the board to approve the emergency operating plan?
I'll make the motion.
I'll
Is there
support.
a Second. All right. Any discussion? Trustee Green? Did you have one?
No, sir.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Personnel for the contract.
Good evening, Board. Before you tonight is the tentative agreement for the AFSCME Local 1688, which is Greg Wheeler, the president of that. That's our bus drivers, food service, custodial, maintenance. This was just language. We settled the economics with them previously, and so this was just updating the language on the expired contract. Lisa Swem, the board attorney, went through that, gave recommendations for language changes, which AFSCME agreed to all of those changes that Lisa recommended, and there is no financial impact to this contract. We've already settled the economics. So.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the contract as presented.
I support.
Been a motion to approve and seconded. Is there any discussion? We'll vote by roll.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Ms. DeWitt?
Yes.
Mr. Middlestat?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Yes.
Berkmeyer, yes. Ms. Hendershot?
Yes.
Mr. DeRue?
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
For contract. All right, now we'll move into union communications. Oh, we have a thought. We'll go with you first. Mr. Lanza, I'll have her come up. Oh,
Ladies first.
yeah.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Colleen Prokop, and I'm a second grade teacher here at Great Oaks Elementary School and a 30-year employee of the district. And I was asked to speak here this evening for the ABEA, in which I serve in the capacity as the membership chair. Tonight, I want to speak mostly for the 100 teachers that are at the top of the pay scale in our district. Currently, we have two issues as an association that are weighing heavily on our minds this evening. Before I begin that, though, I do want you to know that my involvement with the union has never been any sort of retaliation or anything like that. I've always believed in being a part of the union so that people can hear our collective voice and that we can hopefully make something that's really good, the Anchor Bay School District, even better. So the first of the two issues that I would like to discuss today is the lack of pay increase for the top 100 teachers at the top of our pay scale. Going back to 09 and 10, I was at the top of the pay scale back then with a master's plus 30. I didn't know back in 09 anything at all about paying health insurance premiums, and overall, our district was always had about the 8th largest fund in Macomb County, and we were paid close to that. Some years, there was some fluctuation, but 7th to 9th in Macomb County, our salaries were in keeping with our funding. So I felt pretty good about the compensation I received from my district. Teachers were not in the top 1/3 of the district for Macomb County, but somewhere in the middle, and we were all, I think, pretty pleased. I don't want to rehash for too long, but I do want to remind you all that between 09 and the present day, members began paying premiums for health insurance, just like everybody else on the planet, nothing special about that. But at the same time, we also took many concessions, such as pay cuts. We sacrificed our longevity. We accepted furlough days. We had reduced teacher planning time. All this in order to keep the district solvent and to prevent a state takeover. For years, we waited patiently for the return of our loans. For those of us on the top, and those of us who have been on the top since 2009, we were delighted for our colleagues and friends when 5 steps were returned to them. At last, they had movement in 2017. They were able to move up that pay scale. And today, make no mistake, we are all thrilled for our other workers who will be receiving a pay increase this year. But we can't help but wonder how we were, when we will receive an increase. You see, over the past decade, my wage increase and the other 99 members of at the top of the pay scale, our increase has been 1.8%. This is approximately $1,500 broken down over 21 pays or 42 weeks at 40 hours. I'm going low there. 40 hours per week. And this breaks down to 89 cents an hour. In comparison, I have a son who is a high school senior this year and is a teacher at the Goldfish Swim School. He's worked there for 1 year, and in that 1 year, his salary has increased by $2 an hour. My daughter Olivia is in her 3rd year of college and works for U-Haul. And in the 2 years that she's worked for U-Haul, her salary has increased $2.50 an hour. So you can imagine they delight in the fact that their mother, who has been a committed and dedicated 30-year employee, has moved only 89 cents in the past decade, 89 cents an hour. With the additional cost of healthcare premiums, that I did not incur in 09, I do believe that still puts me behind my 09 salary. So, when we have come to the table this year to bargain, our focus has been to acknowledge those at the top who have waited the longest for a raise and who also have served this community the longest. When we first began negotiating salary, The ABEA was told that contracts would not be negotiated until the budget was in from the state. So when we returned to the table, you can imagine our shock and dismay when we found out that the other bargaining units had settled. We bargain in good faith with administration, which means that we trust what is being said at the table is true. We depend on your truth, and in turn, we are honest and sincere with you. We want so much, we desire a mutually respectful relationship. Again, we are sincerely happy for our coworkers who are receiving lovely pay raises. We congratulate you and we celebrate with you and we celebrate for you. However, we can't help but wonder how we have been overlooked again. No other group in our district is in this unique and sad position. We have either been put off or forgotten about. The people at the top need to consider their retirement. We're very close to it. And the decisions you make will affect the rest of our lives. I am one of those 100. If you do not invest in us this year, that means that my pension, our pension, is still based on our 3 best years, all of which are a decade old. When a percent is not included on our schedule, for those of us at the top, we rely on a salary 10 years old to compute our pensions. Our pensions are based on our best 3 years, and my best 3 years are a decade old. I am behind the curve in relation to inflation and cost of living on the first day of my retirement. I would also like to add that across the county, Anchor Bay teacher salaries in general have not kept up with other districts across Macomb County. Of the 18, we are 13th in teacher salary, but our fund expenditures for administration is 4th in the county. To add insult to injury, I and the other 260 plus members of the ABEA must shoulder the cost of paying not only for our contract to be negotiated, but also for our administration. Because of the Me Too clause, whatever we negotiate is also passed along to our administration, in addition to another 1% increase. Some members believe that public dollars should not be used to pay for union matters, but I respectfully disagree with you. We are your children's advocate. Our working conditions are your children's learning environment. We have a committee that communicates and helps resolve health and safety issues as they occur. We bargain for lowered class size so that we can spend more one-on-one time with your children. We have negotiated and bargained for much-needed counselors throughout the district. We want the school conditions to be ideal for all of the stakeholders in our community, not just for ourselves. Secondly, we're bargaining for everyone. We're bargaining for members and non-members and administration. So why should I and other members shoulder the burden of paying for the district's other employees, especially people who make thousands of dollars more than I do and more than the rest of us do every year? The other 17 districts in Macomb pay for their president's release time. They work collaboratively with their association and value the work of the association president. We, the teachers of Anchor Bay, are the front line, the center, and the heart of this education system. We are supported by the work we do by the other units. I feel, and I do believe the other 99 members also feel undervalued at this time. We've given you outstanding test results. We do amazing things with your children. We give generously of our time, our talent, and our treasure. At this point, we would like more than a pat on the back and a few kind words. It's sad that we have to ask, that we want our union president recognized for the great work she does for this district. We ask that the district pay her release time. We want the most veteran teachers to finally receive an on-schedule pay raise so that in their near retirement, they will be able to enjoy their well-deserved rest. On behalf of the ABEA, I would like to thank you for your service and commitment to this community. I would like to thank you for this opportunity to address the board, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have paperwork from our UNICEF director that shows the listing of the 18 school districts within the Macomb County.
If you could give that to Steve, he can pass them down,
Yes.
please.
Underneath that are some accounts about our general fund and our expenditures for administration and teachers on the 2 pages of all of that.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Landadell?
Good evening. My name is Michael Lansadell, and I'm here tonight representing Local 214 Teamsters, and I have a few comments and questions. I'm aware that the board has hired an investigator regarding the JROTC program. Seeing as the Air Force already conducted an investigation and has shared the results publicly, I'm unsure what the board is hoping to accomplish by this investigation. The Air Force cited the school district for having 8th graders in the program, and the district moved swiftly to remove those students. At no time did the Air Force mention or cite the district for any wrongdoing or financial gains. The board passed a motion that was very clear in not allowing any employees to discuss the matter with anyone except the hired investigator. However, having attended the last few meetings, it is clear that that is not being followed. And I thank you tonight for your comments concerning that. As board members, you have taken an oath to work for the betterment of the entire school district and its students. I am aware that an investigator has contacted one of our members, one of the Teamster members. And prior to the member participating in the investigation, we want to be sure that that the purpose is for and what the outcome will be used for. You know, I've been a union rep for over 40 years. I was with AFSCME for 20 years, and I've been with Teamsters for 15. Mr. Giroux, you know that when somebody is brought in for an investigation, either their Weingarten rights are given to them or their Garrity rights or both. I'm not sure if this process is going to be given to them. I want to make sure that your investigator coordinates with me so that I'm there, and make sure that my steward is there with her too, and that she has union representation while she's there. So these final
Your
questions.
union rep has been in contact with her. You know that, right?
Well, I haven't been.
Yeah, I'm just saying you gotta let us know which one, because I don't know, but the union steward has been in contact with the investigator.
Okay. Well, I know.
I understand those rules.
I know Miller Cohen because I've dealt with Miller Cohen when I was with AFSCME for over 20 years. Yep. So I know Bruce very well. I don't know the attorney that you have been assigned, but I will contact her and give her my information so that she knows how to contact me. The question is, how much is this third-party investigation costing the district? How will the investigator's report be shared? It will be public. It will be given to the people who are interviewed first before it's publicly given. Will the employee have been asked to participate and receive a report prior to being made public? Who provided the list of those employees to be investigated? And what was the criteria for being included? I know some of these you won't be able to answer tonight, but I would like you to get back to me on these. What is the anticipated outcome and how will the board be using the report? If there's discipline to be given, I would like to be the first to know if any of my members are being called on the carpet for this. I want to thank you for your time tonight, and I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, but I also want to make sure that my members are protected in this process. So, and hooray for support groups.
Mr. Lanzadell, I can assure you, this investigation is with myself, who hired the person. I did hire her. She's a 20-year federal investigator, has 20 years experience as a federal investigator for the NRLB. She knows workers' rights, wanted someone that knows that won't trample on them, but we'll get to the bottom of whatever transpired in that program to lead us to the situation we were in. I know you're talking about the Air Force's investigation. That was just for the colonel. That had nothing to do with our program as far as how it led to, 8th graders were in that program prior to the colonel even being there. So,
and prior to the person you're asking to, and
you're correct. So as far as some of those other questions and being able to answer them tonight, you and I are going to have to get together.
I'm not expecting it.
And totally, whoever is being talked to, if they want their union representation, they're going to have it there.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Did you have anything? Mr. Middlestat, can you grab the mic? I know it's right there.
I would also like, I think the rest of the board would like to also understand some of those parameters on what's it costing us and the purpose in that. So if you could share that with us at the same time you're sharing their representative, I'd appreciate it.
And again, just so I know the way that comes off is the board's doing something in secretive against all the other board members. We discussed it the night we made the motion, we discussed it in closed session, and we are going into closed session tonight, and I fully intend to bring it up because I've been aware of some of these questions they have, and I wasn't going to answer those questions just as the president. I wanted to talk to the board, get the board's feeling and how they want to move forward with some of these things, and we'll do that tonight. So,
but the issue of cost is not an executive session.
That's correct. We're paying the same hourly rate we pay our current attorneys. So, any other union communications?
Just on behalf of the support staff, I'd like to thank you for accepting the contract, and thanks again for your support.
Perfect. Thank you.
I do have a statement I do need to read, Mr. President, sorry. Union communications applies directly to our unions. I have heard from several employees that work in food service busing and janitorial positions that work within the district currently. There apparently is a rumor going around the district that I am trying to outsource these services. I'm fairly sure that I know where these rumors have come from. I do see that several of you are here and have been attending. So let me just clear the air. I have spoken to no one in this district now or any time in the past about outsourcing any of our union services. So whatever you may be hearing from conversations that are quote unquote by the water cooler by folks in the district, it's simply not true. I cannot speak to conversations that my colleagues may be having amongst themselves, but I can tell you, and I'll say it again, I have not had any conversations up till this point today in my past when I was campaigning that I was going to outsource any of our services.
On that, could I piggyback off of that?
These are really board comments, but go ahead if you...
Sure. Well, the only thing I want to say is, yes, I agree with Pat 100%. I've never heard him say anything about privatization, and I guarantee you I have never, ever once mentioned privatization, even by accident. That is not something I support. That's not something I will ever support. And I just want to make that known.
Okay. Planning for our future. Mr. Case and Mr. Donda.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rue. In your board packet is a change authorization request for the 2017 bond issue. Has a total value of $40,130.86. It's comprised mainly of additional site work, flooring, electrical, lighting, and mechanical work. Dale Dombrow, Senior Project Manager from Bart Mello, is here and can answer any questions that you may have.
Is there, well, first, is there a motion to approve the authorization request of $40,000?
I shall move.
Second? Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anybody got any questions for Mr. Case and Mr. Dombrow?
Just what budget is this coming out of? Is it out of the general fund?
The bond issue.
Just the bond issue?
Just the bond issue.
Vote by roll.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Ms. DeWitt?
Yes.
Mr. Middlestat?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Yes.
Burkmeyer, yes. Ms. Akavetti Hendershot?
Yes.
Mr. Giroux?
Yes. All right. We got one more opportunity for the public. If anybody feels so inclined to want to come up and say something. Something struck your nerve. All right. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda, the minutes of the regular meeting of November 20th, and the financial report as presented. Motion made by Moses. Is there a second?
I'll second for the purpose of discussion. I think Mr. Middlestat has a
And
comment.
then the discussion, Mr. Middlestat?
Yeah, under my comments, there's a couple sentences that, so Mr. Middlestat said that the special meeting agenda had no backup, should be backup information, just clarifying that. And then on the other one is he felt that there should have been more information, period, should have been information regarding the special meeting. So those are the two things.
We'll add to that motion the minutes as corrected.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Superintendent?
Yes, are we gonna,
What do you want
then we're gonna do because we're having it on, video, the PowerPoint.
Oh, the PowerPoint.
Shows you- Yeah, just yes, it'll be brief.
A brief little deal?
Yeah.
You want this?
Well, you know what, I do.
He has the PowerPoint.
This is a change for us. This is new.
I'll go stand out in the audience and watch.
No, what I wanted to do is just give a brief update. I know as we go into December, January, we're halfway through the school year, and we always say to ourselves, man, the school year goes by fast. But I wanted to take this opportunity to share some points of pride for Anchor Bay schools and what we can all be proud of. So what you have before you, and I kind of wanted to add to what our student board member Riley shared earlier. So I wanted to talk about some of the district achievements. Is it on the? Okay. So I just wanted to share that we had 6 students from Great Oaks have been selected to have their artwork displayed at McDonald Library in December. Over 70% of our middle school students at both Middle School South and Middle School North have a GPA over 3.0 or higher. Maria Gottler, an 8th grade student, was selected to the State of Michigan Middle School Honors Choir. Anchor Bay hosts a club, competed in a regional competition, and 5 students qualified to compete in the state competition. Anchor Bay High School senior Blake Burdick was selected as the guitar player in the MSBOA All-State Jazz Ensemble. If you've ever heard that young man play, he is really outstanding. At the high school, the School Air Force Junior ROTC 11th annual drill meet, and Anchor Bay took 2nd place in the first year color guard, and we took 1st place in the advanced color guard. So we're proud of that. 8 students at Anchor Bay High School were selected to the MSBOA District 16 Honors Band. We had 4 students at Anchor Bay High School. Student musicians were selected to be on the MSBOA District 16 Honors Jazz Ensemble. The marching band have earned a first division rating at their annual festival and assessment for the 21st year in a row. I think that Mr. Visnow does a great job, and it's great to see, the students as they participate in the program. Some other achievements: Deanna Zaricki is to be commended student in the 2020 National Merit Scholarship Program because she ranked in the top 50,000 on the PSAT. Blake Burdick is a semifinal student in the 2020 National Merit Scholarship Program because he ranked in the top 16,000 on the PSAT. I just added some pictures there so you can see some of the school programs, and you can see there Blake is also pictured with his guitar. That's the fishing club. Achievements: Lottie Elementary School won a grant for the Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union for new library books. Anchor Bay High School equestrian team won their district competition for the second year in a row. Aiden Pihalik and Joey Elliott won the 2019 Michigan Junior Bass Master Championship. Anchor Bay students came in first in the county in the areas of 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade English language arts. 3rd, 4th, and 6th grade students grades in math, and 8th grade social studies. And I want to make it clear they were first in the county in all those areas. Anchor Bay High School 11th grade students ranked Macomb County's top 3 in all 3 areas of the SAT. And then here I just wanted, and I know we've talked about this earlier in the school year, I just wanted to share how the district did overall with our elementary students, and you can see that goes through grades 3, 4, and 5. And I don't need to go over each one of those. Anchor Bay is in red. And then the next is the middle school PSAT and the MSTEP county comparisons, and you can see that across the board again in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, how the students did across the board. And then we go to our high school, the SAT, MSTEP county comparisons for our high school. And you can see the SAT English, Math, and 11th grade social studies. Achievements: a number of our student athletes made the all academic MAC teams this fall. On that list, it includes our boys tennis, boys soccer, cheerleaders, varsity football, boys and girls, varsity cross country, swim and dive, girls, and the varsity girls volleyball. Varsity boys soccer team won the MAC white division. Varsity girls volleyball won the MAC red division. And I just thought I would share this. And last one, you see the Anchor Bay Parent Literacy Night, and kind of goes over the author presentation, free books for students, and the literacy strategies taught by Anchor Bay students. And the local libraries also participated. So I just wanted to share, as we pass or come up on the approach of the halfway mark for Anchor Bay School District, I think there's a lot of wonderful accomplishments we had as a district, and I want to take this opportunity to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. We'll go to board comments. Start with Mr. Middlestat.
Okay. I'd like to just make a few comments regarding our teaching staff. Teachers like Mr. Porter that was explaining today have always done a marvelous job for us in the district. There's no doubt that those test scores that Mr. Woodside presented didn't come from the board, and it didn't come from the administration. Of course, they help lead, but it comes from the classroom teachers, because they're the ones, as I always say, are the ones, the connection to the students, and that's where education occurs. And I've always supported, through the bond issues, whatever, making sure that the facilities and the equipment and all the things that people need are focused on the classroom. I've always done in the past, appreciated what teachers do. I don't think it always seems to tie in with the current pay negotiation ties in whether we appreciate, and I think long term I've always appreciated the teaching staff. I've shown that from everything I've done in the past. The issue today is when we went into negotiations, I didn't quite understand why all the pay scales weren't done right at the same time, and I think there was some strategic gamble made thinking if the governor came through with a big increase that there would be more money waiting to the end, and of course, as we know, it didn't happen. So I don't think there was any pre-planned thing from the board to say we're going to treat the top teachers last and not give them whatever's left. I think that was a negotiated strategy that kind of backfired in terms of what the anticipation for the pay. I think if the request for an increase had occurred with everybody else at the same time, we wouldn't be in the certain situation we are now. But I think my position on that is we need to pay what we can afford, what's fair, but all those tops, my position is all the top teachers should be getting, if it's an increase, they all should get the same increase. Again, we shouldn't be segregating so many teachers by how many years they have and how much they should get. If we're giving it 2% or whatever we're giving, we give that to all. So that's kind of where I stand on that. Again, I hate to have myself in a category where I don't appreciate teachers because I can't give them everything that they need, that they request, but I tried my best to give everybody what I think we can afford, because there's a long-term strategy here also that what we pay out today has a very big impact on what we can pay in the future. So that's been my position always, that look forward, not just look for today, but look for tomorrow, because you hate to give everybody all the money at one time and then have to sit with nothing for the next 2 years. And of course, it does affect the retirement too, so I understand that. So that's my point. Mr. Green.
Mr. Green? I only had 2 quick comments. One was already stolen by Mary, so thanks, Mary. But I'm glad we were able to donate the buses, and I truly appreciate the drivers donating their time on a Thursday night and driving these 300 plus people. I do have a flyer for the event. It is a fundraiser. I believe the buses are picking everybody up over the Chesterfield Township Police Department and taking them over to Royal Oak. Again, it's a 15-minute exercise once you're there. But it is a fundraiser. There's a pizza party involved, the Chesterfield Township Police Department. So if you're interested, I'm going to leave the flyer up here as we go into closed session. Come up and snap a picture of it. I think the pizza's being served around 5:30. It sounds like our buses are picking up around 6:30. And the only other thing I have is, I don't see Deb Root here. If you are, hold your hand up. But I attended the Christmas tree lighting at downtown New Baltimore the first Monday of December. And she brought her middle school choir down and sang carols, and they did a fabulous job to a large crowd. And it certainly added to the holiday spirit for me to kind of kick things off. And happy holidays, and I hope everyone has a safe break.
Ms. Bergmeyer?
Yeah, so I've been around a few buildings this week. I had the opportunity, and I'll be actually in Great Oaks tomorrow again, in a couple of different classrooms for holiday activities, visiting. Some teachers have invited me, so that's been great. It's been great to come in and see what everybody's doing and working on. As a board member, my kids are in elementary, so going to the middle school isn't something I'm regularly doing at this point, but it was great to be invited and come in. Mr. Medley, thank you for everything set up here with Great Oaks, all the staff, with the students that came in, that you all kind of came in and donated your time. I really like traveling around like this. I know this is the first time, and there's a few quirks here and there, but it's really nice because I think it puts it into perspective what we're doing here. That we're here because of the kids, and what we're doing is directly impacting them, and we get to see that better when we come around to your building. And we also get to see, more faces that we might not see if we stay put in one spot. So I thank Mr. Drew for starting that as well. To the ABEA, Ms. Prokop, your words resonate with me. There's not a lot I can say. I'm new to this board. I hear you, and I want you guys to know that. And then otherwise, I just want to wish everybody a healthy, happy, safe holiday season, and hope everybody enjoys their time away.
I would like to thank the members of every one of our unions. There were a lot of sacrifices made over a long period of time. One thing that always stands out in my mind is our custodial staff alone cleans twice as many square feet as anybody else in the whole county. And that's a real tribute to the dedication of the staff of Anchor Bay Schools. Mr. Green announced, that he has never ever mentioned privatization or whatever, and I also can verify, I've never heard that, but I also know that during those times where we had to cut almost $8.5 million out of our budget, and a lot of sacrifices were made on a lot of different levels, one thing that we knew is we wanted to always let our staff know how valued they are, and that doesn't make any difference which one of our unions you belong to, because every job is important in really keeping the kids safe. And privatization, we know, has been tried in some other different districts, and many districts have returned to having their own staff, because we want our members who care about our kids, who care about our buildings, and who care about our staff. These are our people. So I just want you to all know, from the teachers through every one of your other unions, that all that you do is deeply appreciated. The sacrifices that you've made over the years to keep us solvent is deeply appreciated, and we'll hopefully continue when we have always given it back as much as we could afford and still say it's solvent. So I want to assure you that we appreciate what you do. Teachers are certainly the backbone of our district, and I know they work with tremendous dedication and commitment, as do all the members of our other units, to really, really make the Anchor Bay School District the great place that it is to work. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for all that you do, and wish you a wonderful holiday.
Okay, I have to move this because I'm short and I want to actually see people's faces. There we go. Since I missed half of the room this evening. Of course, Ms. DeWitt stole, as I was sitting here counting in my head, about a third of what I wanted to say. Thank you, Ms. DeWitt. Next, can I go before Ms. DeWitt, please? First thing that comes to mind is all of our locals, but specifically our ASME units that are here, the custodians, foods, transportation, maintenance, and mechanics, is we keep everything in-house for a reason. Quality, integrity, and care for our students. And as she's mentioned, other districts tried privatization, failed miserably. I know for a fact that we're one of the few school districts that our food service makes money. It's self-supporting. We support that department because they do such a fabulous job. Our custodians clean over, 12,000 square feet in comparison to other districts, which is, like Ms. DeWitt said, quite considerably, and do a great job. Our transportation department has split buildings. You have the early the different start times for our elementary schools so that our bus drivers can consistently work throughout the day, so they have longer days and we can keep full-time staff. And I appreciate all the sacrifices, dedication, and exceptional service that within each of those groups when you see sacrifice, you could sometimes see a slight decrease in quality. That has never happened in this district. So for that, I really appreciate that, and will continue to always fight to keep every single one of those departments in-house and part of this Anchor Bay School District. Secondly, I absolutely 100% know where you are coming from. I've been an educator for 21 years. My 3 highest years, may I say, are years 12, 13, and 14. Hasn't moved since. So I 100% understand where you are coming from, but I also understand 100% what Mr. Middlestad is saying is that what we can promise you is we will give you what the district can afford. If I could give you the sun, the moon, and the stars, or I had my pixie dust, I definitely would use it on many different aspects of our things going on in our district, but we promise to evaluate all aspects and look at all avenues with an open mind and in our capacity to afford. So that is never not been there. Mr. Medley, thank you for the awesome presentation this evening and for setting this up. I know this was not a small task, Mr. Case, and all those involved. I appreciate it, and Mr. Woodside, and all of your administrators. Thank you for your dedication and hard work and long hours. Those scores, those achievements come from hard work of students and staff, but from all the initiatives of those individuals that they have put in place. It is a continual circle that all of those components have to be together for that common wheel to continue to rotate and be number one in the county in so many areas. So kudos to every single one of you for the part that you play in making Anchor Bay an awesome school district, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Mr. Moses.
I would also like to thank Mr. Medley for putting on a good, a good venue. Did a great job. I know it was a lot of work, and everybody else that supported that. I would like to send out a special thanks to Ms. Prokop. I appreciate your presentation there. There's a lot of good information that we're going to take in it here. Mr. Porter, that's fantastic. If you're still here, I'm so proud to have you as a teacher in this school district. And on top of that, thank you, Mr. Cabanella, for bringing that to our attention. Because, a lot of times everybody's quick to point out the negative, but sometimes it takes a while to pull out the positive. Other than that, there's a few things that sometimes get overlooked. We had a teacher, Mr. Grammons, who won Coach of the Year. That's a pretty fantastic award. And I'm sure we missed a bunch more, and we're going to do our best to try to bring that more to light, because he is a fantastic teacher and he's an excellent coach. And other than that, I think that's, and I wanted to thank the bus garage, because they're the ones doing it right now, but all the fundraising we do in the bus garage, these things are awesome. If we keep this up, we're making a difference in people's lives, and that's fantastic. And thank you for the invite. That's about it.
All right. I'll just, again, thank Mr. Medley for this great venue and presentation, having the carolers beforehand. That was a surprise. I think this traveling road show we're doing is nice. You get some other people out here who probably haven't come to a board meeting prior to that, so thanks to everybody for setting that up. As far as the negotiations and the teachers, Ms. Prokop, I want to give everything I can to everybody, and the teachers make this district, but so do the staff. And my core belief is we need to raise the standard of living for everybody, and we need to take all the money that we have and be able to bring everybody up. So when you talk about the other groups, I think that's why, like I can tell you, when Steve made the motion to increase it from the 3 to 5, I was all in. We could afford it. The top step, make no mistake, I don't think there's anybody up here saying that we're not going to give you anything when we go into closed session. It's the difference of off scale and on scale. I know that's huge to teachers, but to 4 new board members up here who first time dealing with a school type budget, and I'm trying to understand what that means for us next year. And we jumped in 2 feet, all 4 of us up here, when it came to giving you, everybody bought the Top Step, a contract prior to knowing the state budget, which I still would, looking back, I'd still do it. I want to show the teachers and everybody that we believe in them, and we're going to do what we have to give you that money. But when it comes to the Top Step tonight, and during this negotiation, we have to be very smart about not putting ourselves next year into deficit. And, the training I just went to, it's, from what they tell me, it's the board president and the superintendent go down for a nice little jaunt to Lansing. Whether or not, some people say it's just paperwork, some people say it's not. I don't think we want to put ourselves there. But every year I can tell you that everybody on this board that I've talked to, all 7 of us want to give you everything we can. And that goes, like I said, for all the other staff. When I looked at some of the wages, when it comes to our support staff, I don't really look at what other districts pay. I look at what I believe our lowest paid person in this district should make. My belief's a little bit higher than some, but if we can start raising those levels and make everybody want to come work at Anchor Bay, it's going to make it even better. I'm 100% against privatization. Having our own bus drivers, our own food service, just great. So I know we're losing a lot of people, rambling, but just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and we're going to go into closed session and do what we can do. All right? Thank you.
Can we decide on where our next meeting is going to be held so we can, before we go into closed session? Do you have an idea where you want to have the next regular meeting?
Yes,
I'd like to
what I was going to do was put out and when to do that, but I talked to the superintendent about setting all the
I understand, but
meetings for next year. So next, how about this? Next board meeting will be at the Middle School South.
So why don't we make a motion so we're...
Go for it.
So I can make a motion, Middle School South, yeah. So I'd like to make a motion that the next regular meeting be held at Middle School South and that the posting be done for at least that meeting in the next 3 days.
I support.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? And I will say that we'll have, at that meeting, I'll get a list of all of next year and we'll vote on that. So, is there a motion to go in closed session?
I'll make the motion.
Second? Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
All right, comment. What's the purpose? What's the purpose or stated for the closed session?
Oh, the purpose is for negotiations.
Teacher negotiations.
Teacher negotiations.
Okay.
What's that? I gotta ask him. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Where are we going? Okay.
Not even sitting down.
Okay. Need a motion to come back to closed session?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Now, we're back in session. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes, I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We're adjourned till the next meeting. Thank you.